Another top 25 matchup as we have Big Ten Wrestling presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. Wrestle with the best.
This will be their first meeting and huge implications for Big Ten seeding at the conference tournament in March.
Yeah, that one's going to be fun and heavyweight. Our lineups, as always, are brought to you by Defense Soap. Let's jump right to it. We're starting at the top, 125. Nicolas Rivera.
Out of the gates at 25.
One of the great venues in all of college wrestling, the Corvelli Center, the site here tonight for a top 25 showdown. We've got 3 straight Big Ten conference duels coming your way with the best wrestling America has to offer. And here at 125,
work center.
Got a guy who is red hot right now in Vinny Kilcarry. He's been thrusted into this role at 125. The starter, Nick Bazak, is still having a little bit of injury at time. Kilcarry came away with a big win over Jory Volk, who was number 9 of the country last week in sudden victory. That was 4-1. And Rivera's got a little bit of an issue with the contact that time.
Yeah, it just speaks to the depth of this Ohio State program and how talented they are, top to bottom, not only with their starters, but their entire roster. For a guy like Kilcarry to step in and get a ranked win last week against Minnesota, just an amazing depth that this team has at 25, which is a wake up.
Johnson, and here we go, back to action at 125.
And Rivera doing a good job getting to some offense immediately. Goes for the left-handed high crotch and hip in. And he's a guy that can, create a ton of action. We talked to Coach Bono earlier this week. He's got a wide-open style. He's sort of all over the place in what he's trying to do. And he's a guy who's very comfortable in what I call wrestling situations when there's action and positioning to be won. That's when he really thrives. So creating those opportunities for himself in this match and setting the pace and tone early is going to be really important for Wisconsin to come out with a win in this first bout.
On the edge of the bat, they'll go back to the center. It's Wisconsin supporting those white and black singlets today. The crimson singlets on the other side for Ohio State.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, both guys standing toe-to-toe. Rivera working for that 2-on-1 tie, but Kilcarry breaking, getting some space.
Okay.
Mike, in your career, you came off some big wins. If you're a young guy, you're like Kilcarry, who's coming off one of the biggest matches of his career. There's a takedown for Rivera. What was your mindset going in there, coming off a big-time win like that?
I think it's all upside to have that validation that I compete, I work hard, I go to practice every single week. I'm competing with some of the best guys in the country in my room. I get the opportunity to showcase it on the mat against a quality opponent, and I come out victorious. It just helps me build that confidence. And if I can continue to wrestle my style, get to my positions, and just build on that, that's how you start that flywheel of, hey, I could be an All-American, I can be an NCAA champion, Big Ten champion. And Kilcarry, started the gears last week with that big win against Minnesota. But great takedown by Rivera to set the tone with that arm spin. Kilcarry getting the escape, and we got a 3-1 match here with 37 seconds left in the first period.
Good counter that time out of Kilcarry to stop Rivera from his second takedown. Rivera's been a guy who's been right on the fringe of getting an All-American nod. He was an NCAA qualifier, 4th place at the Big Ten Championships, a round of 12 guy at the NCAA tournament last year, and he's trying to make that jump, trying to get himself to All-American status. Good counter again by Kilcarry.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to do, but again, being in this conference, I think just sets you up really nicely to stack those wins and confidence to build on the results he's had from this past season. Looking at this takedown, gets to that 2-on-1 position, really nice back trip, using that top pressure to almost tabletop him to the back. Immediately gets to that claw ride and is able to get a smidge of riding time, but takes a 3-1 lead into the second period.
You ready? Hold. Cover legal.
Kilcarry will be down, and he quickly gets out. Just 3 seconds to slide out of there and bring it back to a 1-point match.
And that's great if you're Kilcarry. You're giving up the early takedown, again, coming off of the win last week. Now you're only down by 1. It's a really manageable match. Try to keep your heart rate low, get back to your offense and your ties, and You know, if you can get a takedown and take the lead, it's a totally different dynamic. But you got to be controlled and cautious against Rivera, given how chaotic he can be with some of these unorthodox positions that he likes to get guys into.
Yeah, he was trying to look for a throw or something there early on. You know, we talked, and a stall warning coming on Kilcarry on the edge of the mat.
You good with that takedown?
And he's on his heels because Rivera has just such a unique style. He bundled those arms up top and was able to cross
He's got warned.
his position. Look at this. He's got the far tricep with that right hand, is able to do an outside trip, which is sort of interesting, and drop to those hips and get the takedown and have an opportunity to work on top.
They did give that takedown on the edge of the mat. Here's the escape, now up and out. 6-3 is the new score.
And Kilcarry's really been on the defensive. Rivera's come out firing, as he should, to set the tone for the Badgers. But if you're Kilcarry, you got to find your ties. You got to move your feet a little bit more. He's on his heels, and he's sort of still waiting. And again, he has given up 2 takedowns, but still a very manageable match for him and the Buckeyes. If he can just sort of, you know, reset the tone of this match so far.
You know, we talked with Vinny Kilcarry at the end of the match against Minnesota 1 week ago tonight. He was talking about when I got a guy like Nick Bazakis in the room, who I get to roll around with and get to work with each week, the number 2 ranked wrestler in this weight class. He goes, there was nobody more excited. Standing right behind the coaches up there in Minneapolis, cheering on his teammate, was Nick Bazakis. Kilcarry joked too, he gave him a headbutt at the end of that. He said, he almost gave me a concussion. I said, calm down there a little bit, Vinny Kilcarry tells us. As they end the second period, Rivera with the 2 takedowns being the difference maker so far.
Yeah, and that's a great testament, again, to the culture that they have in that Ohio State room. And yeah, if you're Bazakis, you have great aspirations, being the number 2 ranked wrestler in the country. And you're training with Kilcarry and other guys, and they're helping you work towards that goal. So, you know, when you're dinged up and you don't have that opportunity to represent your team with a singlet and somebody else does, you know, you're excited for them because you know that they're making the same sacrifices and putting in the same work that you are in pursuit of, you know, just getting some individual and team accolades. So it's just a great sign of the culture that this Buckeye team has. Kilcarry doing a good job. He's got an underhook here. He's holding position, but I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive in trying to generate some openings. Rivera is up by 4 points. He doesn't necessarily need to be offensive. Kilcarry has a stall call against him and does a good job there with the shot to the outside, but really crafty defense by Rivera. But he's got to create a couple more of those. He's got about a minute left. He's down by 4. It's going to take a takedown and something else to give himself a shot to come out on top. Beautiful, beautiful boot scoot.
Rivera with another takedown, making it a 10-3 match. So now, Mike, when we're looking at it, bonus points out of the get-go for Wisconsin are in favor. If they can get to 8, it would be a major decision, and it would give 4 team points to Wisconsin on the first match of the night.
Russell here.
Again, for this Badgers squad, that is so important. Rivera's got to be thinking about the team here and look for one more takedown. He's already got 3 in the match so far, and this Ohio State team is absolutely stacked. So anything they can do to get more dual points will help, but very, very solid defense there by Kilcarry to get a takedown of his own.
Coach Tom Ryan in the corner is saying let him up, but he was under the hips that time for a 5 count. And it will be a stall warning.
Second stall call.
It's the second one coming on Kilcarry.
It's not a stalemate
unbelievable
situation, though.
Duck under there.
Coach, it was not
and Rivera's still being aggressive, but Kilcarry finally starting to figure it out. A little too late in this match, but is able to drop, catch both legs.
You got warned. You got to come up.
He's got 9 seconds to work with to see if he can get some more points.
Jimmy Chan, our referee here today, saying it was not a stalemate situation like Coach Tom Ryan wanted. Kilcarry's got to try to turn him, and he's not going to be able to do so in time. In the end, it's Rivera who gets it going for Wisconsin. What a showing again from Kilcarry, but Rivera continues with a nice win.
Yeah, great start for the Badgers, and we'll see if they can build on this momentum at 133, which is one of the marquee matches of the night.
Speaking of, one of the top 15 matchups in the country on either side. Zane Futgit is at 13-2 in his sophomore season, and Ben Davino's number 2 in the country, a young freshman. These are a couple of young guys that can really get after it. You could see Davino, he can score in a hurry. 11 tech falls, 1 major, showing you that 12 of his 19 wins coming with major or tech fall, and add in there a fall along the way as well. He's got 12 bonus point victories this season.
Yeah, such an aggressive style from Davino, just absolute motor, constantly looking to generate offense and score. We've seen that all season so far, but he's got a really, really tall task here in Futgit, returning All-American, very experienced wrestler, really tough defense, and a great re-attack. So Davino's got to be really calculated when he goes, that he hits on these attacks, because Futgit's the kind of wrestler who can really capitalize on mistakes.
This is a fun match because they're both young guys. They're both young, and yet Davino is a guy who is one of the most sought-after recruits of the country, a 4-time state champion there at St. Charles East High School. And then you've got Futgit, who is number 11 of the country, like you said, a reigning All-American from a season ago, a guy who's done it in his freshman campaign. And see who gives here today. A 4th place finish at the NCAA championships at 133 pounds for the Wisconsin Badger last year. After a 9th place finish at the Big Ten championships, he really got it going in the NCAAs.
He really did, and these two sort of embody the youth that is present in the 133-pound weight class across the nation. There's so many talented freshmen and sophomores that are having unbelievable seasons, you know, undefeated, 1 or 2 losses. And if you ask anybody who's going to be on the podium in March, you'll get multiple different answers, because this weight class is wide open.
I thought it was funny. Tim talked about in our pregame show the guy at the top, Lucas Bird from Illinois, is the number 1 ranked wrestler here at 133, rightfully so, the reigning national champ. And he's the senior. Otherwise, we were going through earlier, I mean, all these freshmen in here, Davino being the top freshman right now, and the number 2 guy right behind. But there is a boatload of the Big Ten young guys. Marcus Blaze was just the Big Ten freshman of the week. And here's Davino in on the ankle, trying to finish his first takedown.
Yeah, beautiful head inside shot, really methodical in his progression, able to capture that far ankle, work up the hips, and jump out to the early 3-0 lead. Let's see if Davino can get some front pressure, work to break down Futgit, and rack up a little bit of riding time, because Futgit's not going to go down easy, and any advantage Davino can keep will be important. Good job escaping there by Futgit.
We're neutral.
Back neutral. Talking with Coach Bono, he said, you know, a guy like Zane Futgit, who was 4th in the country last year at the NCAAs, yet ranked number 11 in the country. He's not getting a lot of respect. A match like this could really put him in the top 5 talk, you know, obviously nationally where the rankings come. Love the gritty defense they've seen out of the Wisconsin Badgers so far this season.
Yeah, and he has every right to be in that conversation, like you said, returning with a 4th place finish. It's just a function of so many good recruits coming up out of the high school ranks, and I mean, this weight class is just phenomenal. But yeah, if Futgit can be patient, Davino is going to be aggressive. They continue to generate offense. He's got to find 1 or 2 quality re-attacks to give him a nice window to get his own takedown. Here again, really good progression by Davino. You see him capture that far left ankle, works that right arm up to capture the hips. In wrestling and neutral, it's all about capturing the hips, and really patient in his pursuit of doing that and taking the early lead.
Caution coming here against Futgit.
Okay.
3rd one would result in points.
We're just fixing the clock real quick.
That is the first one. Ben Davino in the bottom spot, trying to get up and out.
Wait for the whistle.
Wrestled unattached last year in his redshirt season, went 14-1. This year he's 19-0. He's lost just 1 college match since coming in. 5-0 against ranked opponents. He's up and out in a hurry. And, you know, talking with Coach Tom Ryan, he said, well, I mean, come on, the guy wrestles with Jesse Mendez every day. You're either going to get better or you're going to quit. And he says Davino has taken that on like a champ right now. Mendez, the 2-time national champ, will be coming up next at 141. But They love the way Divino and Mendez really roll around to the room.
Yeah, he said Divino reaps the benefits of training with someone so hungry like Jesse Mendez. And again, he is just one of the best wrestlers in the country. Obviously has great habits, great leadership, does everything right. And that's what leads these young guys to gravitate to a program like Ohio State. They see the results and the performance in March. And yeah, Divino being able to check in every day and just look to his left and see what Mendez is doing and ask himself if he's keeping the same level of intensity and commitment. It just helps you get a gauge of, are you doing the things you need to do to be the most competitive, top ranked wrestler in your weight class. And he's proven that he's, well deserving of being in the echelon of ranking that he's in right now.
One takedown for Divino being the difference so far in this one at 133.
Keep it legal, guys.
Yeah, I think Flau'jae's done a nice job of slowing this match down. Divino likes the high pace. He likes to have a touch and go, very offensive style, but Flau'jae's getting him into some nice ties. He's able to kind of ease the pace, which I think is to his benefit. If he can have this be a one-score match in the third period, maybe that experience and savvy and re-attack prowess can help him steal this one for the Badgers.
Yeah, to show you some of that different pace, Divino has 19 wins for Ohio State, 11 tech falls. On the other side, Flau'jae likes to do it a different way. He does have 13 wins, just 2 tech falls. And we go to the third in a 3-point match.
And what's interesting is Divino, to your point, he's had a ton of tech falls. He's an electric wrestler, high pace, big scores. But he's young, and he hasn't been in a ton of close matches like this in the crux of the Big Ten season. So Flau'jae has, and that is to his benefit. He's down by 2 early in this third period, and these are the moments that Divino needs as a wrestler developing in the Big Ten and on the national scene. You're going to have these tough, tight matches where it's not going to be perfect, and you're going to have to be gritty, and you're going to have to hold on for the win or maybe overcome some adversity, and that's what it takes to really get on the podium as an All-American, as a national champion. So we'll see how he closes this match out, if he wants to be aggressive and try to blow it open with another takedown, or if Flau'jae's able to make things interesting with some offense of his own.
Flau'jae is trying and looking for his first takedown. Coach Bono saying close to a minute, it's time to go. And he's the attack.
1 minute.
A straight-on shot from Flau'jae, which against a quality opponent like Divino is just not going to cut it. You need a little bit more motion, some fakes. Thinking about that second, third opening, you need one good go to get in on the leg. So you got to dig into your bag of tricks and think about, your perfect offense to create that opportunity. Otherwise, Divino's going to keep good head-hands defense, control the center of the mat, keep a low stance, and just let the clock continue to tick down to 0.
25 seconds. Divino looking for another ranked win. He is 5-0 in those scenarios.
Stalling red, warning.
Divino getting a warning. His first, with just 10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and Flau'jae, generating some good activity, but again, it's all straight on. It's very predictable. Really good job by Divino closing out the match with a re-attack, but Flau'jae just unable to create that window, and a really gritty victory there for Divino at 133.
Divino with yet another ranked win. He stays perfect in his freshman season, 20-0 to the resume, 141. As effort on one side, the young freshman's got a tall task here with the 2-time national champion, #1 ranked in the country, Jesse Mendez, on the other side for Ohio State. Alongside Big Ten champ, 4-time All-American Mike McMullen. Zach Mackey with you, Northwestern great, who again won that heavyweight match to give Ohio State the Big Ten championship that year. Is between Ohio State and Iowa, and it came down to the final match.
Okay, work up.
All right, early takedown for Jesse Mendez, who has looked just dominant this season, hasn't he?
He is really making himself a great case for the for the Hodge Trophy. Off to a big start here with the takedown and back points, but I mean, it's been dominant all season against every type of opponent the conference puts in front of him.
There's only 2 matches this year that he has not won with bonus points. And here quickly is Exford, the young freshman, to his back and a pin. In the first period, the 2-time national champ delivers bonus points for Ohio State.
That is Jesse Mendez doing Jesse Mendez things. Huge win for the Buckeyes, and the momentum is totally back in their favor. Yeah, great job here being patient. He's got that bow and arrow over the top, and he's getting those hips in and trying to work that opposite shoulder down, and is able to do so. Just a really tough position to fight out of on the bottom side. His legs are all tangled up, and Mendez knows exactly what he's doing and gets the fall really quickly in the first period.
He's won 2 national championships, but he wrestles like a guy who
honestly, first thing you say is it's like an easy but yes, I would say I was talking to this today, I really want to have more of this.
You had a huge fight of 56 minutes. You and Berlin, there seems to be a little bit of a lockup there. I mean, you won in 2021, I think it was, out of Democrat. When you come back to a place where you had such success, does that give you extra confidence?
The fact is that it's not that it was my style, it's just because it changed my life here. So that's really for me. That's why it's so special here, more than everything.
And you're obviously playing extremely well on this surface. What is it you embrace that is such a great match?
I think the 6 hours before having a